As individuals living in a world with close to 8 billion others, we try to dominate a specific amount of space and time. Every day is World War Zero, the original war and the everlasting war, the war for the share of your wallet, the blood, sweat, and tears you fought to put income into your outcome. However, no consideration was ever given to whether or not we have full autonomy over our economic mobility. Do we really have the ability to, quote unquote, be a part of the 1% wealthy? Think about the countless numbers of people that have died in the pursuit of being debt-free and having what they consider true freedom. Did they ever get there? Well, no. Which is to say this: individuals do not have full autonomy over their economic freedom and mobility. That was never written into the U.S. Constitution. That was never a part of the inalienable rights that the founding fathers wanted to declare. Now, why would they not want this for the American people? Some would say it's not possible for the American people as a whole to have what the 1% wealthy have. Well, to say that is disingenuous on its face. Now, the American people amass for approximately 330 million people, or about 4% of the world's population. Let's unpack this a little bit more. How did the 1% wealthy get to be the 1% wealthy? Answer: off the backs of the middle class through nepotism and crony capitalism. Nepotism first, because they had the privileges that most middle class workers don't have. They have a trust fund that was passed down from their fathers and mothers, along with specific do's and don'ts that keep the trust fund flowing. Now, is the education part of teaching a child nepotism? No, because the child has to actually put the teachings of the parents into practice in order for the teachings to work. However, the trust fund is the nepotism. The trust fund is an earned financial position. Now, this is a concept that has rarely been touched on any social media platforms. The trust fund is the source of privilege. Unearned financial position. UFP. So, the first source of income inequality is the trust fund. Absolutely. If you want to severely reduce the source of nepotism of this privilege, you need to cut it. The government needs to eliminate wills. That's it. That is one solution. Eliminate wills and trust funds. Pass into federal law the elimination of wills and trust funds. Now, the wealthy would get mad at this concept because they would say, that's unconstitutional. Well, is it? Let's take the Jeffrey Epstein example. This man was a multi-billionaire. Guess what? He was also a pedophile. Now let's ask the question. Should this pedophile's kids get his wealth? The answer? Fuck no. The answer is no. Because he got his wealth through peddling the oral, vaginal, and anal fucking of little kids. This is why wills and trust funds are the real moral hazard. Because this unearned financial position is passed down from generation to generation with no consequences, with no regulation, with no legal intervention. This is what creates class inequality. This is the source of economic division. This is what also creates crime. Because when a patriot of the United States, who has done everything by the book, that has deferred to the laws that were put in place, and has also contributed to this society by either working, inventing, or innovating something, isn't compensated correctly, isn't paid for the work that he put in at a rate that is adjusted for inflation and the regional price parity, the society makes it harder for that patriot, for that citizen, for that individual to continue to do the right thing and quote unquote stay in their lane. That's why criminals choose crime. Because it's easier to just steal the wealth from these people that have stolen the wealth from people that have actually worked to try to survive through, get ready for it, trust funds, wills, and tax breaks. Now, I am not a criminal myself. However, I know why it happens. You see, when I talk about the marketplace for simps and thoughts, I'm partially referring to this. Thoughts are criminals because they steal from these trust fund simps. They do it legally. There are no laws against digital hoeing. Fair enough. However, these simps didn't get their money from production, invention, and innovation. No, they got their money from their daddy and their mama. That's the real crime. That's the uneven playing field. Are trust funds and wills of the estate capitalistic? No. Fuck no. That's not equality of opportunity. Trust funds and wills are equality of outcome. Trust funds and wills are predetermining the outcome of kids that never had to work for that wealth. And you expect people to abide by the law? Now, why hasn't Milton Friedman or Art Laffer or Peter Schiff or Thomas Sowell or any one of your go-to economic pundits brought up any of these things? Because they're not the black robot in the game hacking it for the money, the hoes, and the fame. Right? Let me get back on the topic at hand. That was the first source of the 1% wealthy's power. The second source that I've declared is crony capitalism. Now let me develop this a little bit more. If these will and trust fund babies already have the money, how do they keep it? Simple. Through venture capitalism. They create partnerships with corporations. That's how they become a part of the board of directors. Now, the board of directors control companies. They also buy out politicians through political action committees, or PACs. Now, there's a limit to what they can contribute to PACs. However, there isn't a limit to what they can contribute to super PACs. If you control the laws, you control the people. I'm going to say it again because you niggas don't hear me. If you control the laws, you control the people. Because the lawmakers control the ability to put people in prison that doesn't fall in line with the laws. So now you know who makes the laws. It's not the politicians. It's not the Democrats or Republicans. Okay? It's these trust fund babies and willed simps. That's who. That's why your vote doesn't matter. That's why the power of the people is fundamentally bankrupt. That's why if you think your vote is changing something, you're just as dumb as a pile of rocks. Can a nigga preach? God damn it. Oops, I did it again. With no Britney Spears. Cause I'm Rawson today. I told you, I'm better than Jesus because I do this thing in real time. I expose the real in a very special way. Now with the things that I've said, with what I've shown you in this video, where does that leave you, my listener? And where does this leave the American people moving forward? The future self. What is yet to come? Well, just as the present value of money is more valuable than the future value of money, the present value of decision making will always have more impact on the future value. The future value of decision making. In other words, the improvement of decision making has to come now. However, it isn't. Because you niggas think that trying to become politicians is the way. Alright? You tried Barack Obama. It didn't work. You tried Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib. That didn't work either. I told your ass once, I told your ass twice, and I told your ass thrice. You're not leveling the playing field. You have to eliminate wills and trust funds. You have to get to the source of nepotism. And it's not politics. The future self is depending on your decision making in the present. You got to get rid of unearned financial position. You've got to get rid of wills and trust funds. Lord, overlay.